C. I now invite Team C, Shanmugasundaram, Anusha, and Radha to come forward with their section of this event, which is a storytelling section. Their section is titled, Where Are We Headed? The members in this group feel that sometimes storytelling can be used to emphasize the present crisis or to issue or any issue that humanity is facing. Over to you, Team C.
Thank you, Vasugi. I'm Shan from Chennai. My team is Anusha and Radha, they're also from Chennai. Well, think about this, we are surrounded by stories, right? Everything that happened in the past is a story. Everything we imagine is also a story. So storytelling is everywhere. All we have to do is just listen to them, right? There are no rules for telling stories, but there is a way to bring stories to life for your listeners. In our workshop, we demonstrate to you how storytelling can be used effectively to build a story that reflects today's challenges humanity faces. So our session title is, Where Are We Heading? We want you all to think about this question. Is humanity on the brink of a self-destruction, or is it making progress after progress? Listen to Shan, Anusha, and Radha now, and you may find the right answer. So here goes my story. In 1920, at Pudipakam village in Tirunelveli district in Tamil Nadu, part of South India, was one of the state's most prosperous and green villages. Everyone was happy and enjoyed their daily routine life. But unfortunately for villagers, there was no rain for the next 2 years, followed by a drought and a severe famine with many starvation deaths. Added to their woe, a plague ravaged the whole village, and most of its residents fled the village. But one young man stayed in the village. That man was Muniyappa. With all the trees and greenery dried up, the whole village looks barren and deserted. Muniyappa alone managed to survive the onslaught of the nature's fury. Many people asked him at the time, his relatives begged him to come along with them to migrate to other areas where they can survive. Despite their warnings, Muniyappa refused to live with them, saying, "This is my birthplace. This is where I live. This is where I was born. And here I pledged my life, entire life on this soil. So I would rather stay here and fend for myself and restore the past glory of this village. It is my duty." So the question I am asking you, did Muniyappa keep his promise to his villagers? I say yes. He accomplished that mission entirely on his own. Now the next question will come into your mind is, how did he do it? There he is. His daily routine included gathering and sorting out and storing the seeds in one place in his hut. And every day he carries a bag of sorted seeds on his one shoulder, a canvas bag full of water on the other shoulder, and a stick to dig the sand on one hand, and the rice kanji and other foods whatever he could make. On the other hand, well, Muniappa is ready to take off. To where? So he walks through the barren and land at sunrise time, passing every few yards in one direction to dig the soil and plant the seed and pour water on it. Like that, he continues to do this until noon, passing every few steps and plant the seed. And the noontime, he takes a break for a lunch. On his way back, he plants the seed in a different route to reach his hut before the sunset. So the night, he takes the full night rest, and he continued to do that every day, planting the seeds, seeds after seeds. For 3 years, he was doing it. Soon, the entire village was covered, green, full of trees. The villagers came back and saw, oh, it was like a paradise. And the question will rise, did Muniappa take rest? Okay, he had accomplished his mission, and did he take rest or retire or something? No. He continued to plant seeds, as his mission was to bring plant life to every aspect of human life. So now I am taking you all to after 72 years in 1990, when Muniappa is 92 years old, normally considered as a non-generian, right? Though he was built up, he is graceful and tired, but satisfied, and fulfilled his life's purpose. During that time, one morning, while he was sleeping under the banyan tree, as if waiting at the gates of his end time, two United Nations officials and a local man named Sathapan, who is the son of Muniappa's uncle. In fact, Sathapan had indeed he heard the story of Muniappa's, how he bravely, single-handedly, covered the entire village into trees. And he brought the foreigners, and he tapped Muniappa, Tata, get up. So these two people are from United Nation, foreigners. They want to speak to you. And the Muniappa, what they? Why they want to see me? He was saying something like, murmuring, and using Sathapan's translation, those foreigners explained to Muniappa that they are here to recognize and acknowledge his outstanding contribution to the environmental protection. But hearing that, what Muniappa said, I don't want recognition or awards. In a feeble voice, he added further, like, you inhale clean air because of trees and plants. Therefore, let's protect them and grow more trees so present generation and future generation can live in a very healthy environment. Don't waste your time. Go now. Tell people about this. This way, you can give me a rewards and recognition by spreading the tree planting. So after he said that, he lay down and rested for the rest of his life. Muniappa planted seeds, breathed his pure oxygen from the trees he planted, lived 92 years, and died under the same tree he planted. So thank you. And now I request Anusha to continue our story of Muniappa's granddaughter. Over to you, Anusha.
Thank you, Shan sir. um, there was a knock on the door. Kaveri was sleeping. It was 3 a.m. She was startled. Who could it be at this time? She panicked and she went and opened the door. It was raining heavily that night, and there was a man standing there, bare-chested, with a turban on his head and a small child in his hands. Amma, yen ponna kaapathunga. Please save my child, the man cried. I have no option. She fell unconscious. She had high fever from morning. That man screamed and wailed and sobbed. Kaveri, who is now studying medicine, who is doing a PG in Tirunelveli Medical College, was surprised. She immediately diagnosed the child and found out it was a viral infection, a viral disease. She gave medical assistance immediately and saved the child's life. That man's heart was filled with gratitude and his eyes welled up with tears. He said, Thank you, Ma. Romba nandri. You are my goddess. You saved my child. I will never forget you. And he blessed her and he left. Many years passed. Kaveri became a very successful doctor in the field of pulmonology. Her goal in life was to create an environment and teach people about a healthy life and clean oxygen, which is very important. Kaveri became old. One day, as she was sitting on this rocking chair, she closed her eyes and her thoughts drifted to her grandfather Muniyappan. She thought, did I make my grandfather proud? He entirely, all by his resilience and willpower, changed a barren land, a village, into a lush green place. What have I done to the society? What have I given? Where am I heading? Was all her thoughts. As she was thinking, an incident came to her mind. An incident from her childhood when her grandfather Muniyappan took her by her hand and showed some big garden. And he told her, see, Kaveri, I planted the fern seeds and the bamboo seeds on the same day. I gave them sunlight and watered them regularly. But the ferns grew beautifully and vibrant greenery filled the entire earth within few months. But the bamboo seeds took a long time to grow. But I did not give up. I used to water them every day. Years 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 years passed. The fern was lush and green everywhere, but the bamboo seeds. But one fine day, after 5 years, I saw a small shoot. The bamboo grew, and within 6 months, it grew 100 feet tall. So, Kaveri, each person takes time to grow. The bamboo shoots have taken 5 years for the roots to hold on to the soil, but the fern grew quickly. So we should never be disappointed or never lose heart. Each one takes their own time and pace to grow. I am sure you will grow up and help the people around you. Always Muniyappan used to tell Kaveri. Kaveri jolted and she came back to reality. A similar knock on the door. She looked at the time. It was evening 4 o'clock. Being an old lady, she just wobbled up to the door and opened. She peered and saw, who is it? She asked. There was a young girl standing there with a beautiful green sari and mallipu flowers on her head. She said, Amma, do you remember me? I am the little girl whom you saved in Tirunelveli so many years ago. Ah, Kaveri was happy to see her. She welcomed her inside and they seated comfortably in their living room. Nandini said, Amma, this is an invitation for you for the opening of my hospital. I want you to come and bless me. Like how you gave me life, I want to give life to others. So you are my inspiration. I want your blessings, asked Nandini. Kaveri smiled and said, just like the seeds, how my grandfather Muniyappan Sowed everywhere, it grew up to be big trees and plants giving oxygen to the entire universe. The small deeds we sow as seeds should be given as oxygen to people around us to help us. She said, and she finished. Now I hand over the next presentation to my co-facilitator, Radha. All of you all can reflect on the story too.
Radha, just a second. Eric, my co-host permission is gone, so you might have to spotlight Radha. Otherwise, Anusha will be on spotlight while Radha is sharing.
So should I do anything?
No, you can't do anything. Only Eric can do something.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
Anusha ma'am.
Radha.
Myself, Kayalviri, and my mother, Kaveri, discuss a lot about space. And now I'm a plant biologist working with ISRO, who is on my mission with my fellow mate Sam to embark on the journey to Mars. I had genetically engineered seeds to be planted, which produces more oxygen. The conversation that I'm going to say now will let you know that whether I succeeded in my attempt. Here goes Sam. Hey, Kyle, have you ever thought that it's only easy to look back over the years and feel great about the difficult strides that we have taken to reach our destiny? Yes, Sam. You know what? The irony is today is such a day that we will never know whether it's going to mark its print in the history of mankind or it is going to be just another failed attempt. I get you, Kyle. Let's hope for the best. So, what have you got in the vault? It's rice, wheat, maize, and eggplant. Oh, just four? But good for a single course meal. I would love to see the sprouts first, then worry about a meal. These seeds are genetically engineered in arid fields and also produces more oxygen than plants we see on earth. Wow, I take pride in traveling with future Nobel laureate in the field of plants. Thanks, Sam. So, how much oxygen would your moxie will extract from carbon dioxide? Well, this is Moxie 2, which produces 15 grams per hour, more than what Moxie 1 did. And I would expect your GMO plants will fill in 20 grams per hour. So we can walk without these oxygen tanks. Yes, that is what I hope for. My team has already transported the plant incubator that has these 4 seeds germinated. And you know what? Now my job is to germinate more seeds. Oh, a scientist to a farmer? Sam, why do you keep pulling my legs? I wish to be a farmer waiting for his harvest after a great effort. But Sam, do you think the crops would survive the 52-degree Fahrenheit temperature in Earth? I get you. Life is not that simple. Okay, now let's start. Buckle up. It's now time to buckle up. Stay tuned, Mama Earth. Yeah, time to bid goodbye forever is not far. Okay, now Sam and Kyle has reached the Mars station. The chief of the Mars station welcomes them. Welcome, life givers. This will be your new house for the next 6 months. Meet Mr. Felix, who's going to take care of your needs. Felix, come on, what can you help you with? Hey, folks, the simulator back on Earth is good enough for you to prepare for the living on the Mars, but it does not train you enough for the few dangers. So I'm going to tell you a few things that you'll always have to keep in mind. One, if there is a sandstorm, get inside the station immediately. Two, check your oxygen tanks, even if it's a short work outside the station. And 3, never ever remove your gears outside the station. Kyle, look, he's our headmaster. It is the next day after their arrival at Mars. Kyle thought of sharing with her team. Life was simple back on Earth. Not even one has foreseen that we will have to colonize Mars one day. But the last 2 attempts that we did were thwarted by the dust storm. The huge storm has destroyed the oxygen separator as well. Meanwhile, you know what happened on Earth? It's the contention of countries who will prove that life on Mars is not just a dream anymore. It took another decade to build this Mars station, only to start where we have left. But in this decade long break, science has made long strides continuing the life on Earth and also the advancement in Mars. These seeds we invented have more stomata, which can inhale more carbon dioxide from Mars atmosphere, and a colony of palisade cells. The resulting photosynthesis produces a lot of energy needed for the plant growth and also produces more oxygen than the regular plants. So the more the oxygen is, thicker the Mars atmosphere would be and lesser the dust storm. Now, it's already been 3 months Kyle has reached Mars. The rice, wheat, maize, eggplants are already harvested from the seeds and then it is sent back to home for consumption trial. The region of Mars station has more oxygen with the Moxie running continuously. Kyle is ready to leave Mars. And before she left, she planted the trees planted by her great grandfather, Muniappa, back in the village, leaving Mars only to give hope for the life on the second planet. Therefore, my journey to Mars would pave the way for mankind to settle in a completely different environment for the future generation to come. That's my journey to Mars. So now over to Shan sir.
Thank you, Anusha and Radha, for a wonderful story, followed by my story. So the question is, where are we heading? So using our story characters, Muniappa, Kaveri, and Kailvi, as examples, we can determine where are we heading, right? So this is what about this workshop is. Sometimes, stories are told to inspire people to act or make them aware of current events. So in this workshop, performances like ours demonstrate how to weave a story around a specific topic so that the audience can grasp the message effectively. I'm sure the audience can really understand how to create, how to weave a story based on a theme or a topic, which is very, very essential in today's condition. So I invite some questions from the audience. Any questions? We have about 5 minutes. We would like to answer.
You have yeah, sure. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, to me, the way you interwove the different workshops, one was sharing a memory, the other one was inspiring a future, and then this whole sharing about the different ways a single individual can have such an impact out there, to me was a wonderful workshop because it encompasses everything, really. So I thank you for it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other question?
The aim of this workshop was, when we were trying to think about it, was like how each of you can relate your past, your grandfather, how the world was when you were young, and how it is now, how you are facing COVID, the pandemic, the virus, the challenges, and how in the future do you think our earth is going to be. So if you can throw your thoughts around that, if you can connect with the past, present, and future, that would be nice.
May I speak, Anusha?
Yeah, Lalita.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Actually, one thing which struck me was, yes, we have issues of climate change, we have issues of environment, everything. But where are we heading? Yes, one positivity is, I think the humanity is still alive. And that is what we saw during this pandemic. I mean, the pandemic where people, I mean, all of us were scared and all, but there's so much of help pouring out for people, people helping each other, reaching out to each other. So no matter anything, whether it's floods or whether it's any situation, humanity always wins. So I think humanity will definitely help us overcome any situation, for that matter, even your environment and climate change. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita. Any question?
Can I speak?
Go ahead, Shri.
Yes, yes.
So if I have to reflect on then, now, and future. So the other day, like every Sunday morning, I have a 1-hour conversation with my dad, and random topics come up. We are never less topics. And I was walking near the beach, and a lot of plastic was there as I stayed close to the beach. And then I said, like, my dad's parents, I said, the whole produce they had, they used to, not buy anything from the supermarkets or home delivery, nothing was there. And for the whole year, the rice or the masalas, everything was stocked. And all the vegetables were from the courtyard or from the field or something like that. Only onions, which didn't grow, used to come. And if they wanted something, it was in paper, and the jute rope, it was from the Kirana stores. And now all this use of single throw plastics and Amazon and everybody delivering home, and we buying so many clothes, and went on. Then my father said, then what is the solution? And I said, but slowly the change again is coming. What goes around comes around. So when you have excess of sweet, and you keep on eating sweet, then suddenly you don't like sweet at all. Similarly, when you keep on buying new clothes, or they say just for a single jeans or a single t-shirt, tons of water is used, and it is. So there is more awareness now. People are eating more local, and people are adapting sustainable habits, and people are going towards minimalism. So all this is coming. I know it's slow, but sooner or later. And there are, good things are not, given in the media and all like that. But there are lots of changes happening. Scientists discovering more greener solutions, and solar energies and all coming up. And I think we will be heading towards a brighter future. I'm being hopeful and optimistic. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Like Radha very clearly pointed out, so the future is vast. So,
may I add on to it, please?
Possibly, ma'am, any time we have?
No, I think time is almost up. Somebody wanted to say something. Is it Banu? Who was it?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want to say, Banu?
So I would like to add something to Sri Karuna.
Okay, go ahead.
The plastics and the delivery things, whatever she has told. For me personally, I stopped using, or I have drastically reduced using the single-use carry bags and stuffs like that. Wherever I go, even in my handbag, I used to have a folded cloth bag within. Wherever I go, I only use that, and I don't really get, if at all they give me also, I used to put it in my handbag and give it back the use and throw carry bags, the plastic bags that we use. So for me, it is then depending on the scientist to discover something or to someone else to do something. It's in us, the individual first to take the first step, then talking about let they find or they discover something. So if each individual steps in, and that's going to be the future according to me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Shan sir,
Banu.
for sharing. I mean,
Thank you,
that's
Banu.
true.
That's what we three of us, me, Radha, and Anusha trying to do
Yeah,
through our stories.
on this note, there is some store in Kerala and some other countries. I keep following all these environmental friendly things where you can take your own dabbas and, fill them with the dals and cereals and get back home. And, 20 years before, when there was a big supermarket, I used to take my bags and go, and they used to not allow me the bags inside. Then I used to have a conversation, argument, and take the bags. And later, those people started charging for carry bags, and now they are advising everybody to bring their own bags and all. So this all should come from us. I totally agree with you. And people look at me surprisingly when I take the coconut and drink like this, because I don't use a plastic straw. So I imbibe my childhood practice of lifting up the coconut and drinking like that and all that. So I take my own water bottle and my own
Thank you,
cloth
ma'am.
bag. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful.
Over to Vasugi, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, one thing I just want to share. A special thanks to Judy, because what we were planning to tell at the end of the workshop, saying why we actually had 3 different segments, you beautifully, you were able to. I mean, you kind of like we are really happy that that came out so well, that why we had 3 different segments, and thanks to you, Judy, for that.
Well, it was
Thank
my
you.
pleasure being part of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambu, Banu, Divya, Lalita, Shyama, Annapurna, Shan, Anusha, and Radha for this wonderful workshop. And you have given a lot of thought to the workshop, and we are hoping that our audience are inspired and will give a lot of thought to the ideas that have been coming out in this workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Vasugi and Ambuja, and everyone. Can we get on back to gallery view? Let's see. Yes, are we back to gallery view?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We can go without your, if we want, we can all get to gallery view.
Okay, good.
On our
So
own.
I want to thank the Chennai Storytellers group for a wonderful 90 minutes. And I'm also a member of the Chennai Storytellers. I'm very proud to say. We have about 45 members and we want more. So if you are a storyteller in Chennai, please join us. There's no fee. We're just a group of storytelling people who like to work together. And I can tell you right now, the next year's Chennai Storytelling Festival is going to be organized by the Chennai Storytellers group to a big, big degree. So especially, of course, hopefully we'll have events physical, we'll be physically together. And I'm hoping Chennai Storytellers especially organizes those. But 3 cheers for Chennai Storytellers.
Yay!
Hooray!
Okay.